Thank you so much for joining us again. We're so excited to have you here. Can you go ahead and get us started with a brief introduction?
Sure. My name is Melanie Simon, and I'm the General Counsel for the Georgia Department of Public Health in Atlanta.
Perfect. And how long have you been in that position?
So I'm new to this role. I started in September, but I have been with the state since 1994, working in various legal roles for different state agencies.
Congratulations. So what all different roles have you done?
So I've done hearings, so handled like more courtroom type things. And I've worked in contracts. And then most recently for 6 years, I was over licensing for all of the healthcare facilities. So all of the hospitals, nursing homes, dialysis, assisted living communities, any kind of healthcare facility, even a laboratory, 25,000 healthcare facilities in Georgia. So my last job was over licensing at the Department of Community Health. And then I moved in September over to public health to serve as the general counsel, which just means that I run the legal office for public health.
That's so awesome. That's exciting. So what is exactly public health in your own words?
So public health is a state agency, and we have 18 district offices. And those districts have county boards of health. So every county, 159 counties in Georgia, every county has a county health department. And they handle immunizations and routine checkups and testing. And they're really kind of just a vital health resource for the county. They serve everyone, regardless of your ability to pay. And so we have oversight over those county boards of health and county health departments. And we also develop a lot of rules and regulations for public health. So everything from restaurants, when you go to the restaurant and maybe you see on the wall, they have a little score. So that's done through an inspection by the county health department, and the requirements for those are set by our office. So restaurants, swimming pools, healthcare facilities, all kinds of regulations that apply in various different settings. Last week I was working on tattoo regulations. So we're working on some new regulations for body artists. So for tattooing and body piercing, it's becoming very popular. It's a growing industry, and we set the standards, the health standards for all of those activities. So it's very interesting. It really has a lot of applicability to all kinds of things that we do every day in Georgia.
Yes, that's so perfect, because I know all of our kids have been to a restaurant and looked and saw that random magic number up there. So that's very relatable. Perfect. So what type of education or training is required for your career?
So I have a law degree. So I went to college undergrad at University of Alabama. So that's 4 years. And then you go to law school, which is usually 3 years. And I went to Emory for my law degree. So it takes about 7 years. It sounds like a lot, but it goes by pretty fast. You need the specialized training in order to be a practicing attorney.
Okay, perfect. So what led you to this career?
So I really love to write. And that was one of the things that kind of drew me into law. I really had a professor that just kind of asked me about it at one point, because I couldn't really decide what I wanted to do. My undergraduate degree is in English literature. So I always loved reading and writing and research. And I knew I wanted a job where you get paid to think, and that's the nice thing about law is you're trained, and basically, you're paid to think and analyze things and answer questions. So it seemed like a good fit.
Yes, that's so cool that you majored in something outside of like political science and stuff like that. So you're English and then went to law school. So we've been talking to our kids about different routes and stuff like that. Not just everybody takes that straight line to it. Sometimes you may take some curves and everything like that. So thank you. So what does a typical day consist of in your field?
So I work in a professional environment. One thing I love is that I work with all different kinds of people. So there's physicians, all kinds of scientists, nurses, a variety of people, because when you work in the legal office, you're really advising the whole department. So I get questions from different people every day. And I really spend time reviewing documents, doing research, writing letters, writing memos. So it's kind of just a reading and writing job, meetings to meet with people and understand what the issues are. And it's just always different things that come up. You know, I might be working on a COVID issue one day, and then I'll be working on food truck regulations, and I'll be studying that. And then maybe like, I guess last week we were working on raw milk, you know, concerns about raw milk and how to make sure that it's labeled properly. We might have a contamination issue. We had one maybe a month ago where someone purchased a diffuser spray from Walmart, like a aromatherapy kind of thing, and it was contaminated. So we had to notify the Food and Drug Administration and follow up on that. So the nice thing about law is, you know, it's kind of like teaching, like when you say you're a teacher, well, you can teach science, you can teach history, you can teach young kids, you can teach college students. And with law, you know, you're representing someone or some entity, and you can do that for anything. You know, Coca-Cola has lawyers, celebrities have attorneys, sports, you know, athletes have attorneys. So it's really a career that lends itself to a lot of different subject matter interests that you might have.
Perfect. So what do you enjoy most about your career? I know you led on to that, but what else do you enjoy about your career?
I like the variation, and I like that it's always something important. You know, you don't go to an attorney for something that's minor or trivial. So you're dealing with people over something that is critical for them. And when you think of it in a larger context, you know, like for criminal law, they've been arrested, or, you know, they're trying to do something important, like they're trying to purchase a business or buy a home or adopt a baby, or so it's always something important. And I like that. It gives the job a lot more meaning, that they're not coming to you for something, you know, silly. It's something that really matters. And in my context with public health, it's a safety issue. So it's always something that has a lot of meaning and a lot of importance to you know, to people at large within the state. And I think that adds a lot of value and makes the job more rewarding for me.
Perfect. So what are some challenges that you faced in your role?
You know, sometimes you have to deliver bad news. And so you do need to have some confidence and be able to stand up for yourself. You don't always get the answer that people want to hear, right? And sometimes they want to do things that you don't think they should do under the law. So you have to be able to say that. You know, they'll come to you and say, we really want to do X. And you say, well, you know what, I've researched it and I don't think that is the right way to go. And so you have to have some confidence in your research and your findings, and then be able to stand up and give people the right guidance.
Perfect. So how do you see your career, or even like the Office of Public Health, evolving in the next 10 years?
Well, I think like with everything else, that technology is really having a big impact. And that's going to be very exciting. It's challenging us to think about the way we do things, making things more accessible for people and easier. We're looking at, you know, we license paramedics and emergency responders. So we're always looking at ways to make their training and certification process easier. Make the rules and safety guidance that we publish more accessible for people. So I really think that will continue to be a point of emphasis, is just how we can use technology in a better way. And I have attorneys who work for me. A lot of them work remotely. They really love that. They love having the flexibility. So I think that'll continue to impact the way that we do business. And it's exciting. And I think the younger generation is going to keep challenging us with technology in that way.
Perfect. So, what kind of person do you think is most successful in your field?
Well, you need to be studious and like learning and be curious. I think that's probably the most important thing. I think the fact that I like reading and writing helps,
Mhm.
but really any interest, you can put into law, right? If you have a science background, you can be an attorney and work in that area, or if music is your passion, you can represent people in the music industry.
Mhm.
But you do need to be organized and a good student and enjoy learning, because that's really what it's about. You're not going to know the answer most of the time when you get the question, and the law teaches you how to research and study and find the right answer for people.
Perfect. So, what does communication look like in your field?
So we use Zoom a lot. We use Microsoft Teams. We have a lot of our meetings we have over Zoom. Almost everything that we send in law now, we're sending electronically via email or uploading or downloading. Used to back in the day, we would deliver hard copy documents.
Mhm.
And I can remember going to the Court of Appeals, and I remember one time trying to turn something in, and they had just closed, and I was like, oh no, can I slide it under the door? But now most things, are virtual
Mhm.
or electronic. We have some in-person things, we'll have hearings and things, and some things that will be in person. But a lot of our communication is online now, which is great, because it really means that you can work from anywhere and you can communicate with people located anywhere. And it just makes it a very accessible and easy way to stay in touch with people.
Yes, that's perfect. And you touched on this earlier, but what kind of technology do you use in your field?
So we use we use laptops, and we use Microsoft Word,
Mhm.
Excel. Nothing too crazy. There's some more complicated databases that we have to access for public health,
Yes, ma'am.
like a disease notification database, and we have a variety of those that we use. But for my job, I'm really dealing with pretty simple technology applications.
Perfect. So, what kind of classes would you recommend for a middle school or a high school student to take if they're interested in your career or one similar?
So I think that, language arts is great for law, but really anything that's challenging is going to be a good preparation for law school, because law school is challenging academically. So you need that course rigor. So you want to go ahead and challenge your stuff and take challenging courses. And, it doesn't have to be, if you love math, you can, that can be great for law school, as long as you're taking things that require you to study and work hard. And then, criminal justice courses are great. Ethics and philosophy is great. Latin is great for law, because a lot of our terminology comes from Latin. So if you have that opportunity, you can. But I really think just challenging yourself and taking those rigorous courses is really the best preparation.
Perfect. So, do you have any last words of wisdom or advice for our students here at Richards?
Just enjoy middle school, and don't limit yourself. There's so many things that you can do. So, I didn't really decide on law school until I was really graduating from college.
Mhm.
And my oldest daughter is in law school now, and she didn't decide until after she graduated from Georgia either. So don't close any doors.
Mhm.
Just keep an open mind, and think about what you want to do. And that there's so much opportunity out there. The important thing is to stay in school
Mhm.
and keep trying and keep learning, and you'll find the right path for you.
Yes, that's perfect advice. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
You're very welcome. Take care.
Thank you.